Good morrow, Goons and Gaggle! Editing K here with a couple of announcements. First, and most exciting of all, is that our very own Berserker boy Tyler and his partner have welcomed baby number 2 into their family. We're all incredibly proud and happy for him, so we wish Tyler and his whole Gaggle the best as they move into this new chapter of their lives. Unfortunately, this means that it is going to get a little harder to schedule Strahdcast recordings until things settle down over there. Tyler's not going anywhere, and we're going to endeavor to return to the Strahdcast as soon as is practicable, but we definitely want to allow him the time he needs to adjust to his new normal. But never fear! We'd be loath to leave you, dear Gaggle, without the storytelling you've come to expect from us. We'd also be loath to not play D&D together. So, we've been cooking something up in the studio to keep things going. And with that, the Goons are proud to present Darkened Tides, a brand new story from Critical Fayle DM. 2 weeks from the release of this very Strahdcast, we'll dive into a Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign with a cast of brand new characters, played by myself, Campbell, Ned, Trevor in the DM chair, and we'll be joined by none other than Ree! Ree has become a fixture on our Twitch streams, and we're thrilled to have her join us in the studio as we take to the high seas! In 2 weeks, instead of our regular Strahdcast release, we'll bring you the very first episode of Darkened Tides, right here on the regular RSS feed and on YouTube like our normal episodes. Then, stay tuned, because we'll continue to tell that story across our other platforms, including Twitch and Patreon. Once we're able to get back into the swing of things, we'll get back to recording the Strahdcast and continuing that story, but hopefully this will tide you over. Stay tuned after today's episode for a sneak preview of what's to come as we embark on a rowdy and rollicking new adventure. To sum up, congratulations to Tyler and his family, and prepare to hoist the sails, landlubbers! And now, please enjoy the Strahdcast, episode 102, Malice in Chains.
Valanta, where are you? Ludmila? God's your arm! Oh, Ludmila, I don't know what happened. I panicked. Husband is going to be furious with me. I'm going to end up in the drink just like Anastasia. You will not, nor will she. I go to retrieve her now. But you can't. Not before her time. Husband will be livid. He will punish us all. No, I will not let you. Strahd has greater concerns at present. Husband finds himself indisposed for the moment. What? No, surely you don't mean... The weight of the mob, along with our guests, proved too much. Oh, dark powers. It's my fault. I left him. He will never forgive me. Pull yourself together, Valanta. We tread on extraordinarily dangerous ground. We need our wits about us, all 3 of us. Don't you pretend like we're sisters all of a sudden. What is it you scheme, Ludmila? To position yourself as favorite now that Anna and I have failed? You want husband and this castle all to yourself, is that it? Supercilious, contemptible wretch! If I wanted you dead and gone, do you think I would have endured your childish slights all these years? Did you think me too simple to comprehend your slander? Or did it ever occur to you that perhaps we were stronger together than apart? That I should like to carry on this life, such as it is? And that meant keeping peace, no matter how odious I might find your character. You admit it then? You care only for your own well-being. If you value yours, then you will hear me now and dispose of this unavailing despondency. If it is a queen you so desire to live as, then start behaving like one. Now again, I say, I go to retrieve our wayward sister. Are you going to stop me? How did it all go so wrong, Ludmila? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. We are brides of Barovia, Valanta. We go to do what we always have. Survive.
Hey Dungeoneers, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Strahdcast. If you like what we do here, remember to follow us on YouTube or subscribe via your favorite podcast app to get notified every time we release new episodes. Thanks again, and take your listen with advantage.
When last we left our heroes,
The violent confrontation with Strahd and his brides continued. The furious villagers surged forward, tearing Ludmilla's arm from her body. Volanta, in dismay and despair, fled, leaving only Strahd. Kaz, on dragon's wings, took to the air and in a dynamic aerial flurry brought the Count back down to earth. Kaz, Olaf, and as many townsfolk as could muster leapt atop the Count, holding him down, while Irina pinned him to the earth with a javelin through his heart. Thus subdued, Drogar stepped forward, and with the full might of the reconstituted mace, Valandril landed a final smite, defeating the Count. Our heroes have done it. They slew Strahd von Zarovich, at least for now. Appearing in the form of mist, the Count promised an answer to such an insult. How will our heroes take advantage of this momentary reprieve from Strahd's watchful eye? Find out now on the Strahdcast. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Shuffle off this mortal coil and transport yourselves to the far, foggy realm of Barovia. That monstrous snowstorm that had been obscuring the air around you, and you'd been doing this battle caught inside of a blizzard, that dissipates, leaving the chilled air open and wide. As you stand around reconstituting yourself after such a battle. Danica standing there excitedly among you. And as she looks to all of you, you can see behind her eyes the wheels turning on how best to capitalize on this opportunity to operate without Strahd overseeing anything for a little while. And she looks to you all and says, This is a rare chance. We must make the most of it. I have to call together the entire Alliance Council. I must dispatch birds. Please excuse me, there is much to do. I think we must needs take advantage of this moment. If there is anything that needs to be done to ensure we can kill him permanently next time, now's the time. But there is much to do. And so I leave you to it. I leave you to your heroic business. And she kind of turns and starts to go, oh God. We have to dispatch ravens and get out of it. And as she goes, she is listing off the things that she has to accomplish.
As she starts to walk away, Winnie's smiling, watching her go. And then I think as she walks away, maybe a couple of ravens lift off of the rooftops and a flapping of wings and a caw. And Winnie's smiling and watching her go, and then gets a horrible feeling in the pit of her stomach. And her face just falls immediately. And she kind of looks up and scans the skies, watches the ravens fly where brides once were. And then all of a sudden it's all she can hear is her blood in her ears. And I think, Drogar, what are you doing right now?
I'm looking at Irina. I'm kind of in the group of revelers that are kind of pouring out the champagne and
there's a lot of folks still gathered here in the center of town. Many of them are cheering riotously. Many are weeping as there were losses in the battle of Olaf.
And I think he's kind of, as any warrior does after a battle is done, the adrenaline is still pumping, right? And the victors are still almost to keep themselves off of the thought of who they've lost. They're basking in the victory of the battle. But he's kind of standing stoically, 2 hands on his mace, and just kind of looking at Irina, who's shaking hands with
she's amongst
people. Yeah,
for sure, yeah. Uh-huh.
And I think he's just kind of clocking her and getting ready for the hard conversation she's gonna have to have.
You feel a tug.
Hey.
Yes.
I need your help.
What's wrong?
I need your help. Come with me.
Yes.
And I don't know where to go, but just away from people. And I'm going to say... I
go back to the alley where you found the dog.
Yes. Yep. Go. I don't know if I have time right now to tell you. I've been talking to Anastraya. Did you know that? I haven't...
You've been talking with Anastraya?
She wasn't here. And I'm worried that something has happened to her and it's my fault. And we have to find her right now. While Strahd is not at home or not at full power, we have to find her right now. And I need you to figure out how to do this mirror thing.
All right.
I'm gonna send a message, but then I need to be able to see where she is. Can you help me figure out this? I don't know how to do this.
All right. First things first. Do you have a way of contacting her and only her?
I'm gonna send a message. Hold on 1 second. I'm sending a message.
Before you do anything else, we have smited the 3 of them. I think we have a couple of moments. Breathe. I will figure out how to work with the mirror. Regardless, we're not going to be able to do it tonight.
What? Why not tonight?
Winnie, I have expelled much of my power fighting Strahd.
Well, maybe I can do it if you just show me how to do it.
Yes, it's plausible. Yes, I can, but I also don't want to be too hasty.
I just need to know where she is.
Yes.
Because if she wasn't here, then where is she? And maybe it's because she's been talking to me is why she's not here.
I understand your thought process, Winnie.
Hold on, I gotta send him. Hold on 1 second, and I'll run out of the alley, and I'm kind of like, I'm gonna just making like a circle, and I'm gonna cast sending.
Oh, bother.
I'm just watching, or walking and wringing my hands.
You're going to try and send a sending?
Sending to Anastraya.
Okay, go ahead.
Where are you?
Strahd attacked. They came for us. I saw you weren't there. Are you okay? Where are you?
You get no message from Richard.
Oh no. She didn't answer. We have to figure this out. Right now.
Winnie, this is the first I'm hearing that you've been conversing with Anastraya.
I know, and I would tell you, but...
Yes, I understand.
You know she came, do you remember when she came to my birthday?
Yes.
She warned me about the Strahd.
Yes, she did. However, we must also take into consideration that Strahd has had his fangs in her for a very long time.
But it's not like that. You just don't understand.
It doesn't mean that he's not listening.
I know, but right now, you saw, he's not at full power right now.
Winnie, neither are we.
But I can do it.
I know, but God's forbid anything goes wrong. Your friends are not able to protect you. Winnie, we have a village full of people that are in grave danger.
What do you think is gonna happen? Just from me trying to look? Just to try and see where she is?
What is your plan? Do you wish to storm up to Ravenloft and...
No, I want to figure out this mirror thing you said. So remember when I was gonna try and...
Scrying.
Yes, when I was gonna try to scry, but I couldn't do it because we didn't have the mirror, but now we do have the mirror.
Very well.
I can do it. I have enough power.
Winnie, I believe that you can.
Are you gonna help me?
Of course I'm going to help you, but we have over 100 people here that some are on death's doorstep and they need our help. You have my word, we will work on the scrying.
Where's the mirror?
I have it.
Can I have it?
Winnie.
Please.
Why are you in such a hurry?
Because we're in a hurry. Because he's on the run right now. He's not watching. And the only reason why I haven't tried to figure out where she is before now is because I knew he was watching. And I thought that I would put her in more danger. But now he's not watching and I need to figure out where she is. Because if something has happened to her, it's my fault. She's just a little kid too.
I understand, Winnie. Scrying is an incredibly exhausting experience.
I can do it. I'm not tired.
Do you have any idea where she is?
No, I mean, last time I saw her, she got out of the castle. She came to my birthday party. But maybe that's why we can't find her now. Maybe he found out about that.
Before we scry, you have magic that allows you to locate creatures.
Yeah. I know, but...
Before we scry, it is worth trying to locate her if she is anywhere even remotely near us.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
That's step 1. Step 2, we have to get these people on the move.
Okay.
And then, my young Winnie, we will scry.
But right now, it's the moment right now when you saw him. He looked so bad. And what if by tomorrow morning, do you remember? Because the abbot, he fought him 1,000,000 times. Just coming back the next day, and the next day, I don't know if we can wait until the next day.
Give her the mirror. I will help you with the people, Drogar. I can help too.
Pasha.
It's important. It's important to her.
Very well. Will you fetch me Irina, please, Pasha?
Yes. And he scrambles off.
Winnie, let's...
I know that this is not as important to everybody else, and I haven't been totally honest, and I haven't said that we've been talking and stuff. But I just didn't... I thought that the more that I said about it, the more in danger she would be, and now she's in real danger, really, right now.
Winnie, I understand. I'm more disappointed at the timing. Let us find a place where we can begin to scry. Perhaps the Blood of the Vine perhaps has a basement. That might be the best place.
Or I can just go away from everybody. I can just go away.
Winnie, I do not feel comfortable in you taking this endeavor on by yourself. I will aid you, as you have never scryed before. You must also understand, scrying is a two-way street.
I know, but that's why right now.
Yes, and whatever is on the other side can see you and where you are. You have to think tactically, Winnie.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do.
Something wrong?
Irina,
Oh, yes?
I need us to begin to move the people out of the village.
Yes, I've already begun making contacts. I've spoken to Arik, as he's the one most people know and seem to trust. It's not going to be easy, there's a lot of grumbling, but I'm trying to impress upon them that it's the only option left.
Right.
You okay, little sister?
I'm fine.
Me and Winnie need some privacy in a place that is probably not loud or to be disturbed. Is there a room or a building that you know of that is vacant or...
There's plenty of abandoned buildings about. Take your pick.
Right. Would you mind asking Arik if we would be able to use his basement, perhaps?
Only too easy.
Very well.
And she turns and goes off.
Right. Let's hurry.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Irina returns.
Yes, his storage cellar is open for use. They've actually just finished clearing it out.
Oh, good, okay. Oh, good, because then if there's nothing in there, then they won't be able to tell where we are.
All right. Follow me. And I think Drogar will lead Winnie down into the storage cellar. And once he gets down there, he'll... I don't know if I have breath weapon, but just for...
You can flavor it.
I'll flavor a torch and kind of put it into some of the cast stone of the basement kind of walls.
Yeah. So this is the building, that was just previously on fire.
Right.
This is right outside of where you
Now, is the base, is the base...
The base is still on fire. The structure is still standing. The roof caught on fire with the
There's
force
wood
of the
on
lightning
top
bolt
of stone.
So you head off there. As they're heading their way, anything else anybody is trying to accomplish or do, or what are we about?
Anybody trying to kiss anybody?
Any smooches?
I think Olaf probably was helping Kaz up and kind of... Because you're beat the fuck up,
Pretty
right?
much unconscious, yeah. I think if anything, you're tending to her and maybe smacking her hands when she tries to get up.
That's so great.
Arm over the shoulder and kind of carry you to the nearest bed where we can set you down and let the healers take a look at you.
Yeah, she just needs rest at this point. So stick her in the back of a cart.
Yeah.
if we're getting on the move tonight, then that's where she'll be. I think she is actively slipping in and out of consciousness.
He just puts a finger on your lips.
Oh,
That was just for laughs. It's not actually what he did.
Summons enough energy to make a confused look at him and then falls unconscious.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, so Kay's getting bedded down. Irina and Dimitri Danica are all hustling about trying to organize folks. You make it down into the basement. There's a couple of cobweb-covered big wooden boxes down there still, but otherwise the air is very, very cool. Maybe going down the stairs, placing a hand on the side staircase. The walls are all made of cool stone that are covered in condensation as you move into this dimly lit place, illuminated only by Drogar's flame-enhanced torch, breath-enhanced torch. Time's yours.
okay. So how do we start?
Right. Drogar kind of takes off his tunic and puts his mace and his shield down. And he begins to draw kind of a circle about. And he'll drag over one of the empty wine vats, and he kind of puts it down, and he takes out the mirror, and he places the mirror leaning up against the wall so it's facing us. And he begins to take some... a pouch on his side that you've seen is there, but never really seen him touch or anything, and he pulls it, and it's he pulls some out and he kind of throws it in this circle, and it's like some really sweet smelling herb of some sort. And he kind of throws it in this circle, and then he takes his clawed finger and he starts to draw some like really ornate kind of things inside the circle.
Yeah, notably the casting time of scrying is 10 minutes, so there's a bunch of ritual involved.
So Drogar starts to kind of do these like things, and he goes, "You cannot rush these things. I know your impatience, but you must bear with me. Oh, absolutely." And he just kind of takes a little bit of holy water, and he just goes across it, and you see this glowing ring, like it starts. Right, now the conduit. You stand in the center, and I want you to focus on the mirror, and focus on the image of Anastraya. Do you still have a mask?
Yeah.
Put the mask on.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll pull the mask out of my bag and put it on. And I feel like with all of this magical energy that's being conjured, like as it gets close to my face, it kind of, almost like latches on, like the magic is ready for the moment. The magic is waiting.
And again, Drogar, you notice, and you'll recall from the last time she put Anastraya's mask on, as it snaps to her face, it's almost like she seems to grow a little bit taller, loom a little larger, in an almost frightening way, like when Galadriel turns into her beautiful as the dawn. Yeah.
I think so. Drogar, in seeing that, will kind of step next to Winnie and just kind of put a hand on the back of her shoulder blade, and we'll just go, "Now into the mirror. See her. Focus. And you see his eyes kind of start to glow, and he's kind of throwing a little bit of energy toward you, and now it's up to the safe.
So the mask alights to my face, and as you touch my shoulder, your voice starts to get quieter and muffled.
Now into the mirror.
And
see her.
As you touch Winnie, like I think only Winnie notices a little like eraser dust like puffs out, and she focuses in on the mirror. And that first meeting with Anastraya in the stream when they were fighting over that stone. And almost unconsciously, Winnie's hand goes into her bag and pulls out a stone that she uses with her slingshot. She puts it in the slingshot and aims it at the mirror. And it's like as she looks, the surface of the mirror is almost vibrating. And with this mask on, it's like there's a connection there's like a thread between the two of them, a challenge between her and the mirror. And she releases the stone at the mirror. It strikes in the center, and where it strikes, the shattered glass comes to a point, like a stalactite, coming out of the mirror, reaching out towards her, and she can feel this draw. And she, in this like masked form, hunches over on all fours like a creature, crawls at the mirror and reaches out the palm of her hand towards that point that's emerging from the mirror. And as she touches to it, it pierces the center of her hand. And there is a connection of blood. And I think at that point, the mirror restores and becomes watery, like the surface of that stream that me and Anastraya met over. And I can see inside the mirror a stone, like it's on the bottom of like it's on the floor of the stream.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep reaching in towards it.
So, mechanically, on her wisdom save, you tell me if I'm wrong, GM, but how I've read it is she's met the target firsthand. She doesn't know her intimately. She's met the target firsthand. You've had, 2 meetings with Anastraya?
3.
3. It's up to you whether that's extensive or not, but she also has a garment or other possession of Anastraya. And that's a -4 to her wisdom save.
Yes.
So if it's extensive, that's another -5 on top of that. Or I don't know if they stack. Maybe it's whichever's higher. You take whichever's higher, but yeah, Drogar is just there working the ritual. And
you reach towards this stone that you see sitting in the reflection of the mirror, casting no reflection, but instead offering a view into this alternate space. And as you continue to reach forward towards it, you feel your fingers alight upon it. You can feel its smooth surface. What do you want to do?
The stone in the water. I clench my fist around it.
And as you do so, suddenly there's the sensation around your hand adjusts as if it had been plunged into icy water. And as you pull back, clenching the stone in your fist, and the mirror floats into the air and seems to hang in the vacant air. And you see the surface of the glass-like surface of the mirror undulate and whirl as if it were a disturbed surface of a pond, and then slowly it comes to rest. And what you see is the surface of dark, deep water. And you can see a length of chain coming from off the rim of the mirror, descending from above, dropping into the surface. And it slowly sways back and forth. And as you watch for a few moments, you see something else come into view from the side. A decaying, bloated corpse, seemingly just floating at random through the surface of the water. And it becomes familiar to you. This is that room.
Yeah.
In Strahd's castle.
Oh my God.
Where you freed Emil. It's that that deep pool of water, which had previously collapsed, and of note, it is no longer in ruin. The room itself seems to have reconstituted.
Fuck.
But you see, every once in a while, these sickening, bloated corpses seem to just float by like logs on the surface of the water, as this chain just slightly sways above the surface.
I'm gonna walk up to it and wrap my hands around either side of it.
Mm-hmm.
The chain that's hanging down, is the chain going into the water?
It dips below the surface of the water, and you kind of lose track of it in the murky depths.
As I look into the mirror, I hold on to it, and I sort of move it just to my left to see.
As you do so, it seems to pan around the room, as if you were pointing a camera into the room itself.
And her breathing just starts to get heavy, and I lower the mirror down below the surface of the water where that chain is hanging.
Dipping below, you are at first taken aback as the first thing you see is just a decaying face float by. Give me a perception check. It's very hard to see in this murky water.
17.
As this decaying face passes by, it's like if you ever open your eyes underwater in a river and you can just see that cloudy, like detritus floating, freestanding. And dipping below the water, you see like a cocoon lengths of that chain bound. At the very bottom of the chain, wispy strands of dark hair free floating in the water.
I'm like pulling the mirror closer to me, trying to get like a closer view.
Yeah, you begin to move in, and you can kind of see it turning and swaying, and maybe one of those corpses floating by bumps into the massive chain, and you see it like wriggle a little bit. And as it comes around, you catch just a glimpse between the lengths of chain, eyes kind of like rolled back in a sort of a state of torpor as she floats here upside down, bound in chain underneath the water. And then, all of a sudden, as you're recoiling in horror, you hear you hear, because the scrying surface is underwater, you hear that it muffled as if you too are underwater, but you begin to hear the clanking of chains and the turning of wheels, and this mass of chains begins to up out of the water from where your vantage now stands.
I follow it. Yeah, follow it up.
Emerging back above the surface, you wheel the mirror around, trying to inspect the corners of the room. And as you do so, you see up on that balcony, where you know beyond is the brazier with all of the gems on it that you transported before. But this balcony, after that, looks out onto this expanse of water and floating corpses. You see Ludmilla at a crank.
Oh my God.
Pulling her up out of the water, and it reaches a sort of zenith and then moves back over the balcony, and then she lets the crank go and it falls and splashes onto the surface of this balcony, and she hustles over and she gets a length of chain and just bites through it, bares her vampiric fangs and bites through the chain, casting it one way to another, pulling it back like she's unwrapping the most horrible Christmas present. And as she finishes clearing them away, Anastraya, she just lulls her head back as if she's barely retaining consciousness, and Ludmilla scoops her up, puts her head into the crook of her neck and her shoulder, and you just see her gently bat her back as she turns and begins to make her way back up the stairs.
Now I let go.
Yeah, it falls to the ground with the image resolving away.
Drogar immediately stands up, kicks the circle out, kicks the dust out of the circle, and moves everything about and picks up the mirror and places it face down on the barrel. And he just turns around and he's like, "What did you see, Winnie?"
I rip off the mask. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
What is it?
She's chained up back in that place, remember, where you were underwater and we were underwater and all of those bodies in the castle?
Yes, in the dungeon.
She was all chained up and now Ludmilla has her, and I don't know what they're doing. She's not okay. There's nothing I can do. I can just look! There's nothing I can do. This is my fault. We tried to take care of each other. She tried to protect me.
Was it you that wrapped her up in chains and threw her in the dungeon?
No, but we both knew. We knew it was risky, and
yet you still did it.
I don't want to learn anything right now. Now we just have to go. Now we just have to go do the next thing. How am I supposed to just go do the next thing?
You just must. If we were to go to Ravenloft right now, we would be...
I know.
And know that with every victory there are losses.
She's not lost yet.
No, she's not. When you hear me when I say this, I have far, far more years of experience in life than you. I have seen horrific, awful things. There's always a way through. But what you need, my dear, right now is patience. He wants you to act off of impulse. He wants you to act off of the pain. That is his weapon. You are very brave. You and Anastraya both are very brave. And you have my word. We will not let her go quietly into the night either. If you vouch for her, then perhaps there is some way to save her. Come, let's go. We have much work to do, and I fear for what has seen you on the other side.
Okay, go ahead, I'll be right there.
All right. Drogar will pick the mirror up as he goes and walk out with it.
Yeah, I turn and watch him go, and I feel like as he turns the corner, the mirror, it catches a torchlight for a second and blinds me in the eyes, and as it does, I just hear a scream in my ear. Mm-hmm. And then I just pause for a second, standing in the middle of this ruined circle, holding the mask in my hand, and then follow after.
Drogar will walk upstairs and we'll meet. Is Irina like still steadily getting people?
Yeah, emerging back out into the square, there's a flurry of commotion. Back out onto the square, Irina comes to you. Is everything all right?
Not quite. We need to move.
I couldn't agree more. I called for everyone to gather in the square after we've seen to the wounded and gotten our feet under ourselves. And I think we just make the pitch to the whole city at once. Fruitless, I think, to try and run about getting yeas or nays from any individual. I think we just come out and say, you can follow us to somewhere new. I can't promise that it'll be like the comfort of the homes you leave behind, but I can promise it'll be safer. And those that come with us, come.
And that they will have each other. And they will have Vallaki. And they will have Kresk.
Where do you think we've been going back and forth this entire time, Drogar? What do you...
Winnie, are you coming up at a certain point?
Yeah, I think probably I'm coming up right about now.
Oh, little sister, good. I want you to ask, what do we think is the best place to try to move them?
For tonight, I think we best make it as far as the old bone grinder.
Is that along the way?
Yes.
Let's see, golly, what time? So yeah, it would be about...
Because it's late.
You left early in the morning from Old Bone Grinders. That means you would have gotten back to Barovia just probably right before midday. So...
An hour for the fight.
Sure.
So if we leave now, by nightfall, we can make it to Old Bone Grinder, where there are the gardens that the hags were keeping, where we can set up camp, and we can rest for the night. It's far enough away from Castle Ravenloft, far enough away from Barovia that it gives us some distance. Drogar would look at Irina and say, I think we should make for Old Bone Grinder. There are gardens there, there's food there that is growing naturally, as well as the food that I can prep for the villagers. Mm-hmm. On top of that, we can use the rubble and the tree clearing there as some sort of cover. In the morning, I think we should make for Argynvost.
Yeah.
Break for Vallaki, perhaps stop by, and then, yes, I think we settle them in Argynvost.
Yes.
Make its new city, at the heart of the valley, right at the very foot of its once greatest resistance.
Follow the light. Yeah.
Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Lead the way, Irina. I'll be right behind you.
Follow me.
Kaz, Olaf, anything?
So I don't know, where would you guys have put me? I think I'm like, just like, I was so catatonic after the fight and like it was sort of probably one of those moments where she's like trying to act tough, but she just literally does not have.
Kind of picturing like a hay bale,
yeah.
You know what I mean, off to the side,
or we just loaded you into the back of the cart,
or the cart. Yeah, sure, of course, the cart into the back of the cart. There's benches back.
I'm sure we have like a bedroll. Late, like
you could lay a bedroll down on one of the benches.
You got like two benches, and then we have the hanging herbs and stuff, and then right in the dead center we have like a cot, like a bedroll that's rolled out.
The equity
somebody
cot.
Can rest.
Sure, yeah, the equity cot.
The most uncomfortable thing. If you lay on it wrong, it just folds in the middle, and you fold with it.
Yep.
You made a Boy Scout camp bed.
There we go.
More or less. I think at some point she'll like sort of start awake. And I don't know, would Olaf be there?
I think he's probably still like tending to you a little bit, so he's just like, easy, come on. Just rest.
I think she'll just look at you and just enough time to sort of look around and know that she's remembering the fight correctly. And then I think she'll just go back to sleep, but like she'll actually look like someone who is trying to sleep, not like someone who was just dropped there, like it'll be sleeping with intention.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she'll just sort of give you like a grunt and a nod and a grunt.
A grod, a nunt.
A grod / nunt. And yeah, she'll just like roll over and go back to sleep.
Yeah, and I think I don't know that anyone would see it, but if they did, I think they'd be surprised by the tenderness that Olaf was like, tucking the blankets in and like maybe brushing a wisp of hair like off her forehead and just like making sure everything's set where it needs to be and she's resting comfortable.
Oh, that's another moment. I wish I was a grown up in this. I just want a little recording of easy, come on, you just rest. I'll fall asleep to that.
That'll be a drop. I'll put it on loop.
So, yes, joining back into the main square, people milling and thronging about. Arik is like busy loading a bunch of his own things, like heavy boxes into his own horse-drawn cart. And he like finishes stuffing one into the back and throws up the back of the wagon. And God, I haven't had this much exercise since I was a lad. And Irina makes her way over and says, Arik, have you spoken to the people? And he turns and he goes, princess, you're throwing a lot at them all at once. I mean, yesterday they were ready to rip your throats out. Now they've gone and turned on the devil, and now you are going to ask them to leave their homes. The people here are like carrots. They grow down into the earth, not up and out. Yes, your metaphor is very apt, Arik, but it's time for harvest. And to take them to market.
Oh.
All right. Your stage awaits, princess.
Go, Trevor. Go. Act. Play all the guys. We can't wait.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
Drogar is going to cast... I've done this for Winnie, but Drogar is going to cast Coming of Age on Irina. He's going to cast Ceremony.
Oh. Ceremony.
And the way that I picture this is that Coming of Age, like she's coming into her role as being...
Is coronation a ceremony?
There is no coronation. There's funeral rite, dedication, bless water atonement, coming of age, and wedding.
Okay, well, I think we should write coronation into one.
That's good.
It's up to DM rules. But essentially what it would do is it would give her a D4 and add the number rolled to her ability check.
I like it. That coming of age makes sense for that. Let's just call it coronation. Yeah.
We'll call it coronation.
Yeah.
So
which is a coming of age of a sort.
Yeah.
So I think Drogar will kind of will be like, all right, everyone. That's it. That's great. 3 times. He's like,
she gets up and excuse me, and people are still
everyone. And then Drogar's just like, quiet.
Thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. All the windows fly open and your voice resounds.
Right.
I bet you're wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Yes, that's me.
And then Drogar will just put a gentle hand on Irina's shoulder, and she feels like the warm energy.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes, his kind of bluish gold eyes, he just kind of goes, "You're ready, Burgomaster."
Yeah, and she goes to step up to address her people. When I left here, I was but a girl. Ill-suited, unprepared for the rigors this world would throw at me. I had to flee. Under armed escort, these very heroes who now surround us, who, let it be dispelled once and for all, will not eat your children.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
They will not steal your savings. They will not burn your farms. They are the ones here, working to make this place better. I left, I'll be frank, because I'd given up hope for something better, here, in the shadow of the devil. But the longer his shadow grows, it can only mean that equally there is a light far off in the distance that is there to cast it. Let us walk towards it. Too long we have played his game. Too long we have sat at his doorstep, letting him dictate how we live our lives. To whom we allow our love, to where our blood, sweat, and tears flow. We are robbed our agency. We are robbed our righteousness and rights of being born, breathing, hearts beating on this earth. This used to be a free place. The envy of the world surrounding. That's why he wanted to come here in the first place. Though it does not feel it, the lineage of free Zenobia still beats in our hearts, flows in our veins, and that is not something he can take from us. He can mutilate our bodies, ruin our homes, tear apart our families, but he cannot take our blood from us. He can drink his fill, and there will still be the plenty more for beating in our homes and our hearts. So let us build something new. something better, away from his shadow, and as we move closer to the light, a paradise at the very heart of this village. And instead of the shadow of a monster, we shall be beneath the protective wings of a dragon. And we will all breathe fire. Will you come with me? With the heroes of this place. Burn it all. And from the ashes rise free. In command of our own destinies. And she looks to you all. Will you come with us?
I've been watching this speech like on my knees, needing something to hold on to. And as she finishes that, I get up and just quietly run up to her and take her hand and look around at everybody.
Well, what say you? You stood up to the devil once. How about round 2?
Anybody else?
Just a physical presence. I think Kaz, hearing the speeches, will just like hoist herself up and just go stand on the cart, just like not trying her best not to look like she's leaning on the spear, but like leaning on the spear a little bit, like spear in one hand, cactus sort of down by her side in the other, just trying her best to look tough, letting the blood like drip down her face.
Olaf?
Yeah, I think Olaf will just be standing next to Kaz, just
in case she falls.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, great. That's great.
And there will be more food and wine. If that counts.
This evening we make for the break of the old mill, where the red earth still gives us fodder. Look at what you've done already. You killed him. The one so untouchable up in his cloudy towers. Where is he now? Run away on mist and wind. And that's all his rule is. Mist and wind.
Yes.
We are the blood and earth and roots of this place, and his foul air will never blow us over again.
Yes.
Everybody give me a persuasion. We're going to do one of our classic persuasion group persuasion checks.
Right.
Can I do intimidation since I'm just trying to look?
Of course you may. Of course you may. Olaf, you can do that as well since you're just adding imposing presence. Irina's going to make one. Hot dog. What do we got?
For Drogar, that's a natty 19 on the die for a dirty 20.
Gorgeous.
That's a 12. Kaz is swaying a little bit.
Yeah, So 32,
11.
43.
21.
Whoa! 20. What is it, Olaf? What gives it to you?
I think he's just got like the perfect amount of blood and sweat on him. He just looks hard as fuck.
And you got like the mud from the forest from before, like like football player masking on your cheek. Yeah, he's looking raw. Looking raw.
And I think being like a person from the land
Yes.
gives it that extra additive.
Fantastic. Bloody fantastic. So what does that put us to? Gee whiz.
You're at 64.
Dog. And Irina Irina got a 14. So
78.
that clears us, I think pretty safely. At first, like, the crowd is gathered around you, and I think everyone arrayed here, it's like some Last Supper magic, with Irina at the center, and you all, and Winnie holding her hand below, Kaz and Olaf, like, standing, imposing, intimidating, at attention.
Drogar's like sitting next to her, like Irina's standing there with Winnie, and on the other side, Drogar's kind of sitting on the step, just kind of like...
Yeah, and I just see this shot with Ravenloft up before you, and at that moment, again, you see above you, I think, like, if they are looking right at you, looking past you at the gray sky beyond, again, for a moment, mist just seems to rip. Like a seam, as if a tear in a garment unzips the fog behind, and for a second you could almost see like a ray pierce through, but it closes out again in a whisper as it snaps back together, and you get again that thunderclap as the mists again collapse again on each other.
I feel like I just like have this image of, in that moment, a little kid is like, "Mommy, look," and like just kind of points up, and like a couple of people just
and
lightning, and it's like,
almost like a few rays dance across you.
yeah,
Just
raid
catches the red of Irina's hair.
Yeah.
The ruined roof we can see right through.
Oh, fabulous. And for a moment, the crowd stands there awestruck, and I think Arik just kind of like limps his way forward a little bit and says, "Well, shit, princess. Lead on." And there's not quite the uproarious roar, but the people are seized with purpose.
Yeah.
And they begin to move almost in syncopation, like the gathering together. Maybe Irina cries out once more, you have an hour to gather only what you can carry. And then we march.
We march while he runs.
We march while he runs. Fabulous. Yeah, and so people start clearing out. Oh, that's sick, y'all.
Dimitri's still here?
He sure is, yeah.
Dimitri!
Dimitri, you see that?
Dimitri! Is that a wand in your pocket, or are you just happy?
All right!
Pretty hot, huh?
Just a bunch of horny adventurers.
Wholesome horny, that's our vibe. Wholesome, and as we get closer to the end of the campaign, the wholesome falls by the wayside.
Dimitri,
I came here to be wholesome and horny, and I'm running out of wholesome.
Uh-huh.
and I'm all out of wholesome.
And I came.
Wholesome and horny. And I came. Balls.
Fabulous.
Oh, God.
All right, what do you want to say to Dimitri?
I just said it. Dimitri, once we start to move, we're going to have a large target on our back. Once we make it to the old windmill, we will rest for the night. Is there any way you can get a message to Kresk? Are there rangers to meet us at some point?
My mother is dispatching dispatches as we speak. Now, I know my mother is sending ravens to all corners of the valley. We are to meet in Vallaki, so yes, we can certainly get a message.
Very well. It's very hard for a shepherd to guard an entire flock of sheep from a pack of wolves by himself.
I take your point. Yes, I will see if we can arrange the Rangers of Kresk to meet and watch over us.
Arrange the Rangers, dispatch the dispatches.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That is all. Thank you, Dimitri.
Great. Yeah, so people start dissipating back to their homes to gather what belongings they will. So there'll be like an hour before you head off. Anything anybody wants to do in that time?
Nap.
No?
Cass is just out.
Yeah. All right. We got Kasle.
I'll go to Kaz. I'm going to go to Kaz and cast some healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've committed to the bit of making the most boring acting choice all night.
No, I love it. I
Sticking
fucking love it. Baggage train ambiance.
Oh.
Is there
Circle the wagons.
Is there anything left from where Strahd and Volanta stood?
They were sort of on the top of the...
Did Volanta get popped? Or
was it? No, because Ludmilla.
Ludmilla fled.
Okay.
Did Volanta... I can't remember. Did Volanta die?
One
Or
of
did
them-
she also... I think they both just fled.
Both.
Yeah.
No, one of them turned into like a bat creature.
I think that was how they both fled.
Yeah. I think they fled.
They both fled?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they didn't pop like Strahd.
Is there anything where Strahd's remains were?
Ooh.
My javelins.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, if you're going over there, grab my javelins, would you?
Yes. Drogar will grab the javelins and wipe the dust off.
Thank you.
Ooh.
There's probably some blood on them, too.
But Drogar is going to see if there's anything remnant there.
That's a good
I
question.
think while you're doing that, Winnie comes to Kaz, and I think Olaf just like nods at you and then like kind of walks off, knowing that now someone's looking after Kaz. And then Olaf looks for a little nip of wine, just a little bit. He's on watch duty,
Just some for the road.
but you gotta have a cup before you, like after a fight, you know.
You see Arik, after he closes the back of his wagon, reach a big hand over into the back and rustle about, and he pulls out a big bottle of wine.
Oh, I could help you with that.
Long trip ahead. Always never drive without drinking, I always say.
I just need a little nip, just to wet the whistle after victory, you know.
Nip away, hero.
And just Pretty large gulp. But then he hands it back to Arik and then goes, "Oh, thank you." And then wanders off to kind of check out, make sure the carts are all tidy and people are lining up correctly. No one's going to be straggling, kicking the wheels.
I thought as you did the gesture of bringing wine to your mouth and you went, I thought that was the sound of you drinking.
That's how I drink.
Yeah, let's say actually his whole garb is left behind, right? All of his clothing.
Oh.
Yeah?
Wherever he is, he's naked.
Wherever he is, he's naked. Yeah, and so his fine clothing is left behind, and that long cape that he's always wearing with like the fur trim around the
Drogar will pull a Darth Vader with Obi-Wan's remains and just kind of kick it with his foot and kind of like sift through it and see if there's anything other than the clothes.
How nice is this cloak?
Stand back. I'm going to pee on it.
You want to find it? It's very fine.
About to be less fine.
Stay back, Olaf.
I guess I don't want to wear the evil guy's cloak.
Could be cool.
I'll throw it over Kaz while she's snoozing.
It's just his clothing left behind.
Great. Drogar will take out a vial of holy water and just cover all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just drop the vial.
Yeah, you better fucking believe it.
Olaf comes up and unzips his pants.
I buy it.
I'll add some of my holy water.
Olaf.
Here's my holy water.
I got your holy water right here.
Gotta be a moment where Irina looks back over her shoulder, red hair flowing, as people are kind of crowding around her and people are like laying hands on her. She looks back over her shoulder at that. Those remains.
People disperse, then come back together. Many of them are drawing, with their horse-drawn carts. Many just have huge packs strapped along their backs, but they seem as bedraggled and rough-spun this baggage train is turning out to be. They all look set and purposeful as they gather together in the square. And you kind of come to the head of this huge column of people with you all at the head. I don't suppose you could give us a little something to light our way.
Oh, sure. Winnie looks up at her and gives a nod and takes a deep breath. And this is the moment to like Drogar said, we just have to keep moving. And so she looks around at everybody and says, "All right, people. Even carrots gotta go to market sometimes." And we'll cast light on Tally-Ho's eyes and then turn in the direction that we're headed. And she'll say, "Tally-Ho!
We march while he runs!
We march while he runs!"
And this huge throng of people makes their way out along the old Svalich road to chart their new future. The Strahdcast features Campbell O'Hare as Winnie, Kay Devine-Jones as Kaz, Ned Iannacone as Drogar, Tyler Kanter as Olaf, and me, Trevor William Fayle, as your DM. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes Patreon. Special shoutouts to our newest patrons, Bethany Arencelovic, Caitlin Nace, and Koopa Orc. Welcome to the party.
If you're not ready to support us financially, there are still plenty of ways to help us out. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Critical Fail DM, binge Madness and Mercy on our YouTube channel, and join us there every other Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time when we do live listens of new episodes of the Strahdcast. Or rate and leave us a review wherever you like to listen. Thanks, Dungeoneers, and take your day with advantage.
This evening we make for the break of the old mill, where we have expunged the taint. Fuck me, fuck.
We have expunged the witch's taint.
Taint is tough word.
Taint's hard to...
It's tough.
Foul taint of the witch.
Where the red earth still gives us fodder.
Oh, nice.
Nice. That's way better.
Yeah, that makes Witch's taints look like shit.
I got there. Editing K, make a less of a salad of this.
Make it beautiful.
And now, here's a sneak preview of the next story from Critical Fail DM, Darkened Tides.
Saltmarsh can be a bit of a rough place.
I heard word there might be some trouble in here tonight.
You came to the most dangerous bar here in Saltmarsh.
I did?
Yes.
With any luck, you'll be off on an adventure of your own one of these days, Pip.
I do hope so.
I am in between jobs at the moment.
Good evening and sweet dreams.
Wink.
As he looks to the bar, he goes,
Yes.
and then he goes to take a step and falls flat on his face.
Gosh, I certainly hope there's no more excitement tonight.
You're really loud.
Yes.
Oh, God, they're all dead! Or worse!
Easy boy.
I need everybody to roll for initiative.
You ready to get to work?